Thank you. Thank you, Urs. Dear family, friends, alumni, dear faculty and staff, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the graduation ceremony for the Global EMBA class of 2018 and the Tsinghua INSEAD EMBA class of 2019. Especially, I want to welcome all of you, our graduates. Today is the beginning. It is not the end of your relationship with INSEAD. Today, you're not leaving INSEAD, you become part of INSEAD, because you are the INSEAD of the future. As our graduates, we believe that INSEAD has equipped you and prepared you to embrace your new role in the world, whether as a disruptor, transformational change agent, or an outstanding leader. But more importantly, I hope, that INSEAD has prepared you to be a force for good in the world. You watched this video about the history of the school. The more you learn about INSEAD, the more interesting and intimidating it becomes. In 1959, when INSEAD started its first program, Georges Doriot, our founder, had an idea not only to bring management education to Europe, but he viewed INSEAD as a place where we can promote peace and prosperity by bringing people together from all over Europe at the time. Today, we bring people from all over the world, and we still believe that by doing this, we can promote peace and prosperity. Georges Doriot had very strong values about the role of business in society. He is considered the father of venture capitalism. He is the one who started the first venture capital fund. But the reason he started it is less known. In 1946, he noticed that many soldiers who came back from the war were without jobs, and yet they had ideas of companies to start. So he raised money to start the first fund so that he can actually fund these ideas. Today, we believe in many of the values that Georges Doriot upheld at the time. Over the past 60 years, the school has moved and created a lot of new ventures. We were pioneers in many different ways. The first one-year MBA, the first MBA in Europe, the first company-specific programs in executive education, the first online programs, our innovation with the leadership development program in the EMBA, and so on and so forth. The more you learn about the school, the more you start asking the question, so what is next? What can we do to continue this amazing journey? And when we ask ourselves, what do we do today? What do we do next? One thing comes to mind, and that is, why are we here? What is the mission of INSEAD? INSEAD is a mission-driven school. We are not part of a university. We are not part of a governmental structure. We are not a profit-maximizing entity. We are independent business school driven by our mission. And we believe that our mission is based on the idea that business has to be a force for good. Business as a force for good has at least two interpretations. In the very narrow sense, business creation lifts people out of poverty, generates jobs, generates values. It's very easy to illustrate this by looking at China. In 1980, in China, there were 840 million people, 85% of the population, who lived in extreme poverty of less than $1.90 a day. Today, there are less than 20 million people in extreme poverty. This is a miracle that had never happened in the history of the world before. At no point in time in the world, more than 1.3 billion people had been lifted out of poverty in a period of 40 years. And this miracle happened only because of one thing, and that is economic growth. And the only engine of economic growth in the long run is business creation and business innovation. If this is the only interpretation of business as a force for good, our mission, our objectives are very simple and straightforward. We bring people like you to INSEAD. We help you develop as future leaders, entrepreneurs, managers. You go out there, create businesses, manage them more efficiently, and create value for society. But unfortunately, that's not enough. Over the past 20 years, we have witnessed that the tensions between business and society have been increasing. We have witnessed many corporate scandals. We have witnessed that, according to the public, 60% of the people out there believe that CEOs are driven only by greed. So today, we realize that it is our responsibility to address these tensions between business and society. To do this, about 2 months ago, INSEAD launched a new Global Institute for Business and Society, where we look at all these externalities, all these additional effects that business creates, and the impact that business has on society. We have research streams on sustainability, social impact, ethics, inequality, gender equality, tech for good, humanitarian logistics, and so on. But the ambition of this institute is much bigger than just to conduct research. We have an extremely ambitious goal. We don't want to change just INSEAD. We don't want to change management education. We want to change the world. We want to change social norms in a way that we, as a community, will be proud of. When we think about the social norms that we accept today, I can guarantee you that many ways in which we do business will be considered completely unacceptable 20, 30 years from now. And sometimes, when we focus on these social norms, we believe that they are written in stones. People repeat the same thing over and over again, and we think that this is objective truth. In fact, we actually create these social constructs. We live in an imagined reality. About 2 years ago, I read the book by Yuval Harari called *Sapiens*. I'm sure many of you have read this book. And this book actually made me realize how much we are victims of this imagined reality. Here is a quote from Harari's book. "Ever since the cognitive revolution, sapiens have been living in a dual reality. On the one hand, the objective reality of rivers, trees, and lions, and on the other hand, the imagined reality of gods, nations, and corporations. As time went by, the imagined reality became ever more powerful, so that today, the mere survival of trees, rivers, and lions depends on the grace of imagined entities such as the United States and Google. So today we have to ask ourselves, what are the imagined realities that we need to change? Because norms do change. 55 years ago, if you came to INSEAD, it will be acceptable and normal to see only men in the classroom. And today, nobody thinks that this is right. It changed, and there are many other norms that have changed over time. So today we have to ask ourselves, what is the normal that is changing? We, the society, want business leaders who not only create phenomenally successful companies, but ones that in the process of value creation for the company also create value for society and maximize their social impact. We want, with this Institute for Business and Society, to change mindsets so that all of us realize that in the process of decision-making, we create impact not only for our companies but also for society. And therefore, all of you matter. All of you are part of this story. So in closing, I want to charge you with a call to action for INSEAD. It is actually very tempting now to give inspirational advice like aim higher, challenge yourself, be the best version of yourself. aim even higher or aim highest, be even a better version than your best version, aim highest, and so on. But I will not do this. We have an inspirational speaker who will do, a great speech on that. I will ask you for three things. We are facing, first, today a lot of challenges. And often, we still frozen in front of these challenges, and we wait something to happen on its own. But challenges can be inspiring. In March 2016, AlphaGo, the computer program developed by Google's DeepMind, managed to beat one of the world's best masters of Go, the Asian game of Go, Lee Sedol, in 4 out of 5 games. What is interesting in this match of 5 games was that AlphaGo in the second game performed a move which was absolutely unanticipated and shocked all the experts who were watching the game. They did not understand at the time why would the computer move the piece in this way. This is known as move 37. It was 1 in 10,000 probability to make this move. Later on, experts realized that that was an extremely creative and smart way to win the game. In game 4, Lee Sedol was behind in the game until he played his move 78. And again, it was a very surprising move, 1 in 10,000 probability. Lee Sedol won that game, and when he was asked, why did he make this move, he confessed that he was inspired by the computer. The computer made him think that he can do something outside of the box. We assume that artificial intelligence will challenge us in a way that will not be able to respond. But actually, human mind has unbelievable capacity to adjust, to learn, and innovate. So be inspired by these challenges and find your move 78. Second, INSEAD is a business school for the world. I must ask you, each one of you, to determine how you, specifically, uniquely, individually, will contribute to our mission as a business school for the world, and how you will ensure that business is a force for good. We are a different business school. We're mission-driven, with strong values, and we want you to be values-driven business leaders. We want the world to admire you, not only for what you have done for your bottom line of your company, but to admire you also for what you have done to make the world a better place. And third, I want to ask you to be our ambassadors. INSEAD, you have been at INSEAD for more than 14 months now. So you know our values. You know that we value tolerance, inclusion, diversity, friendship. We want you to be ambassadors of these values in the world. And while some governments are building walls, we want you to build bridges. To sum up, be inspired by challenges, find your move 78, be humble, and integrate the societal challenges in the strategy of your company, and be a proud ambassador of INSEAD and our values. Let us continue to champion diversity because it is the only key to strengthening individuals, businesses, institutions, and society. Let us promote together peace and prosperity for every individual, community, and country in the world. We are proud that you decided to do your executive MBA at INSEAD. I have no doubt that this class will change the world for the better and contribute much to the prominence of our alumni and our school, which from now on you can call your own. You are INSEAD, and you are not only alumni now. You are our partners in this magical journey that we call INSEAD. Congratulations, thank you, and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ilian. It's now my great pleasure to introduce our graduation speaker, Hari Krishnan, MBA 2005D. Hari is CEO and board member of Property Guru Group. This is Southeast Asia's #1 online property company. Hari is also a board member of Singapore's chapter TEIE, which helps connect entrepreneurs with advisors and mentors. And he serves on several advisory boards for multiple fast-growing companies. Prior to Property Guru, Hari has served as Vice President and Managing Director, APEC and Japan at LinkedIn, leading more than 1,000 employees across 10 different offices, having joined the company as the very first hire in the Asia-Pacific region. Since 2017, Hari is also an advisor to the Singapore government on the real estate industry transformation. Hari is best known for being a tech guru. However, a typical INSEAD one who values diversity and is able to create a great work environment, as evidenced, for example, by Property Guru being shortlisted for Best Workplace Culture by HRM Award in 2018. Please help me welcome to stage Hari Krishnan. Thank you.